Hello Florida Tech, this is Brandon and Judy of our ongoing coverage of the protests here in Melbourne about the death, the murder of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department. As you can see behind me, protests have continued unabated since yesterday, the day before, and they're popping off all over Melbourne. Yeah, there was a march in Rockledge, there was a protest at Canova Beach where we were, and now we are here at downtown Melbourne, where the Black Lives Matter protesters are less than 1 block away from Melbourne City Hall. Understandably, that's where the police are posted up right now, in case, a window happens to get broken. But as we need to affirm repeatedly, human lives are more important than property, which is why, again, these protesters are out. The march is moving. We're in downtown, moving across the railroad tracks to join up with another protest. And the second group that is doing a short vigil are going to be meeting up. We've received critical support from the townies. We're a very important demographic of guys who like to sort of hang out and drink beer all day, which is, quite frankly, what I would like to be doing right now. But I have to do the important work, documenting the fact that America is in open revolt against its unjust government and police force. Really, as the cars going by, they're honking in support. There is broad support for this. Like I said yesterday, most Americans are in fact against police brutality and against racism. Protesters taking a knee, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. Getting a better shot of you. 8 minutes, 46 seconds. Was the length the knee was placed on the neck of George Floyd. While his windpipe was crushed, he was begging for his life, begging for his mother, as he was already on the ground, face down, handcuffs behind his back, and the police still felt it necessary to apply lethal force.
Black lives fucking matter!
And this lethal force was applied for the egregious crime of paying with a fake $20 bill. A thing that I've done accidentally, and then the cashier told me, and then I went home. Today in particular is Breonna Taylor. She was killed in her home when the police did a no-knock raid on her. And not even the correct address. They got the address wrong, they kicked in the door, they sprayed so many bullets, and 8 struck her in her own home. It's going to be an extension of all this, that in America, black bodies are not even safe in their own homes. They're not safe in public, they're not safe in private. That's why we're out here today. We're taking the knee, memory of her and everyone else who's resting in power. Another issue here local is the Gregory Edwards case.
Y'all can get off y'all knee now.
A few years ago, he was detained by Brevard County Sheriff's Department
Y'all can stand up.
while suffering an episode of PTSD because he was an Army medic. He's an American veteran, a hero. He came back, he was having his issues. When he was detained, he was beaten, tased, and gassed repeatedly by Brevard police, the county sheriffs. He died in their custody. And to this day, the tape that shows exactly what's happened, the videotape, has not been released. There have been multiple incidences across this country where the police, they come in, they do their public relations for the cameras, for the press, and then when we decide to stop rolling and go home for the night, that's when they move in and start cracking open skulls. An egregious example of that was in Buffalo, where the police took the knee on one day, and then on the next day, they pushed an old man to the ground, and he started bleeding out of his skull. And they had the audacity to claim that elderly gentleman was some sort of outside agitator when he was in fact a longtime peace activist and a member of his local Catholic parish, who had been known in the community as a peace activist. We need to stress that it was not just the one officer who placed the knee on his neck, nor the officers who were just looking on as he was murdered. The whole police department is complicit. It is the culture of the police itself that leads to these events, and that's why the protests are out saying that Black Lives Matter. Because, quite frankly, if you've been keeping up with the news in any way these past couple of weeks, they clearly don't. The police don't care. The politicians care even less. So you have to come out on a Sunday, on a Monday, on every single day demand truth. We know what actually happened. We demand justice for the long list of names. Not just the ones from these past couple weeks, but the ones going all the way back to Emmett Till, who was lynched. And despite this, in Congress right now, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is blocking a federal anti-lynching law, something that has bipartisan support. We're going to be working our way throughout the day, interviewing more and more protesters. We have one here today who is a very interesting and, quite frankly, very compelling opinion on the ongoing situation in America. Sir?
Abolish police. Reforms do not work. Did you know the NYPD had a chokehold ban going since 1993 when Eric Garner was strangled? Body cams do not work. Body cams always turn off when they are needed most. Departments always have hold of the footage. They always have control of the footage. The Minneapolis Police Department has undergone possibly millions of dollars worth of sensitivity training, and not only did they kill a man, but they stood and watched one of their own kill a man. There are only two reforms that work in policing. There are budget cuts and there are personnel cuts. Anything else is a half measure that does not work and only exists to make you less mad at the system. It only exists to keep people like these off of the street and happy in the voting booth.
The increasing presence of police at the protest tells me that they're probably at least getting a little nervous. But so far, they've kept their distance as they should, and more protesters have been trickling in throughout the day. In fact, here's some more coming across. Just came across the bridge. I'm one of the organizers of today's protests. Ma'am?
My name's Brianna. I organized this protest today because it's widely obvious what's been going on in this country for centuries and centuries and centuries to my people. And I think it's about time that it came to an end. I think that we as a people need to come together. I think that we all need to organize, get together like this more often, organize to where we can meet up and have different leaders of different communities meet up, and we brainstorm and go over what we can do to better our community and encourage our youth to be better people, be better than us, be better than our ancestors, be better than our predecessors, because obviously it's not been going too well with their leadership. We need real change, and we need it now. We need it right now. Get out and vote in November, because that's the only way that we are going to start. It starts with us. Vote. Use your voice. Speak out to injustices for men, women, and children in this country, because it's done. It's so overwhelming to explain what it's like to be a black person to my white friends. It's so overwhelming to think about what might happen to me or my child or my parents or my friends just because of the color of our skin. And we're tired of it. We just want change. We want real live change, and we want that now. So vote. Get in, start by voting with your Senate majority, your mayor, your city council. Vote the right people in, and we won't have these problems anymore. I truly do believe. We have to get into the system from the inside out is the best way to do it. So we as a community need to come together, as I stated before. We need to come together. If anybody that sees this, if you're brave enough, if you have enough courage, come to me. You can reach me at any of my handles. On Twitter, it's at queen_of_Bree. On Facebook, you can find me, Bree Mitchell. You know, guys, just come out and fight the good fight with us, because we're tired. And I know fellow Americans are tired of us always saying, this is how we're being treated. And for everybody to have seen it on camera and to have watched a man, it took a man dying all 50 states, protesting 13 other countries, and groups of people supporting the black community that you wouldn't see, like atheists and Satanists and witches and Quakers. Damn it, who do the Quakers come out for? Nobody. So if they're saying we're sick of this, everybody else needs to be saying we're sick of this, because we are tired, America. We're tired. We're sick and tired of the oppression, of being profiled everywhere we're going. I can guarantee you I've been profiled in the last 5 minutes by every cop that has been out here just because I look how I look. And that's not fair to me. It's not fair to my 2-year-old daughter. And it's not fair to my father, who worked hard as hell, has never been to jail, has never had a criminal record in his life. It's not fair. And we shouldn't have to be going through this. We shouldn't have to keep going through this. And that's all I have to say. Get your shit together, America. Get it together.
Protests are beginning to wind down here in downtown Melbourne. However, the struggle continues. You will continue to cover the protests as they happen. You will continue to report the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. Okay? Because what these protesters are saying, that is the truth. That Black Lives Matter. Okay? The whole city is turned out. The whole city supporting us as they drive by. We have been here for hours and the intensity has maintained, even with less people here now, again, as things are winding down. But regardless, we will continue to be here reporting what's happening. Thank you.